So, hey, good evening, guys. Welcome back. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing today? I should say long time no see, right? Yeah. Even though I saw some of you guys last Thursday, but it's been a while since I last streamed for you. I've been very busy. So, J-Main, K-Toin, Mike, J Brown, Kev, how are you guys doing today? Good? Did you guys kill it? It was a melt up for the most part today. The tech sector did pretty good. And now the big question is like, did the SPY bottom out? Who knows? Ogdaddy, Soulfly, where are you guys at? Hello. From the beautiful city of Charlotte in North Carolina. Hello, everyone. What's up, folks? Please drop a comment down below and let me know what stocks you want me to go over. And in the meantime, I will make a summary of what happened today. You are in Raleigh. Did you come to our in-person meeting? Who of you guys came to Charlotte? We got together recently over here, and I met a lot of you guys. There was like a month and a half ago or 2 months, I think. No, that gotta be you. Yeah, my audio is perfect. Yeah, it's good, perfect. That gotta be you. Yeah, my audio is perfect, I would say. Yeah, it's been a long day for me, guys. I've been working since 5 a.m. or something like that. But I am here. I am a man of my word. So I told you guys earlier on today that I was going to be streaming for you. And here I am, streaming from the beautiful city of Charlotte in North Carolina. Okay, so what happened today in the markets, guys? Russell 2000 up 2%. The Nasdaq up 2.74%. The S&P 500, or the SPY, went up 2%. And the Dow Jones ended up closing also in positive territory, up 1.23%. If we take a look at the 11 sectors that trade inside the S&P 500, take a look. The tech sector was the best performing sector today by a mile, guys, up 3.73%, followed by industrials, up 2.24%, materials, up 2.16%. So, long story short, out of the 11 sectors that trade inside the S&P 500, 10 of those sectors went up. So we had a broad-based rally today. And the worst performing sector, and this is something that is worth pointing out, guys, was consumer staples. This is typically, let's just put it that way, a risk-off sector. So this is a sector that usually leads the markets. This is a sector that usually has a positive performance when there's fear out there. And consumer staples went down today 0.88%. So a very decent day in general terms for the markets. Now the big question, and I guess that this is something that you guys are asking yourselves, is like, is this the moment to buy the dip? Is this the moment to, buy the dip in, Google or Nvda or Tessie or whatever, Microsoft. And there are important levels, guys, that we need to keep an eye on in the case of the SPY. And of course, guys, and let me show you my Discord channel. If you're actively trading, guys, or let me show you my channel in our server, in our Discord. If you guys are actively trading the SPY, you need to keep an eye on my Discord channel, guys. Take a look. Or on my channel in our server. Take a look. I am, for the most part, narrating the whole trading session, guys. From 9 a.m. until pretty much, the market close. And I use something interesting, which is the pivot. Are you guys using the pivot? Do you guys happen to have any questions about the pivot? Let me show you. So today I told you, take a look. My first post came out at 6 a.m. Most of you guys were still sleeping. By the time I was already calling out levels in the SPY. Take a look. 8 a.m. And mind you, I was working since 5 a.m. So I told you at a bit before the market open. Let me see, what is it at? 9:12 a.m., guys. I told you our pivot today is $536.50. This level was very important today. Again, guys, if you are actively trading the SPY, you need to keep an eye on the information that I am posting in Discord. There you go. Daddy says that pivot is always money. I mean, for the most part, not always, but for the most part. Yeah, I like your level. Thanks. TDN. So we have more people joining the stream. J-Main, Sharon, Dieter, Steve, S. Thompson, J.C. Spencer. Welcome, guys. Awesome. So take a look at what I said today, guys. So at 9:12 a.m., I told you guys that our pivot today was going to be $536.50. So above the pivot, the bulls were in control of the tape, and below the pivot, the opposite, the bears. So later on today at 9:34 a.m., I told you they failed at bursting above $536.50. So be careful here, guys. Then at 9:41 a.m., take a look at this post, guys. I cannot be making this up. For real. I cannot be making this up. At 9:41 a.m., I told you closing candles above $536.50 kicks off the bull case. And I wonder what happened after 9:41 a.m. once the bulls were able to consolidate above $536.50. That's a fair question, guys. Let's answer that question. Let's pull up a 1 day, 1 minute chart. Take a look, guys. I'm going to draw a line here right at $536.50. Take a look. There you go. Let's go. Look. So the bulls were able to burst above 900. You wish. The bears out there, which wish we could see 900 points or $900 in the SPY. So $536.50. The bulls burst above this level, guys, at 9:41 a.m. You guys can see the time at the bottom of your screen. 9:41 a.m. The bulls take out $536.50. And take a look at what happened right after that. The SPY took off. Take a look. It's impressive, for real. I gotta give credit to myself when it is due. And take a look. This level was absolutely critical. The SPY took off. And take a look at the time of my post, guys. 9:41 a.m. That was it. Then I kept narrating the trading session pretty much until the end of the session. You know, and I make some jokes here and there. Why not? Trading sometimes is about having fun, right? Yeah. So, keep an eye on the pivot, guys. By the way, a question that I get from you like super often is like, when I say closing candles, what time frame am I talking about? I am talking about something like from 3 up to 5 minutes. So if I say, for instance, guys, at 9:41 a.m. I told you closing candles above $536.50 kicks off the bull case. So when I say closing candles, and put this down on a sticky note, okay, and keep this information handy. When I say closing candles, I am talking about 3 up to 5 minutes. If you see the SPY trading above or below a certain level that I am calling out for 3 up to 5 minutes, that's the time frame that I would be expecting in order to start that trade. There you go. Samko, thank you, Alvaro. Amazing work every day. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. And by the way, guys, I guess that you didn't know, and you didn't know this. While I am posting this information on Discord, I am live streaming for the guys of my Patreon, and I am not pitching you anything because my Patreon is in Spanish. So you don't need to sign up because you will not understand a word. Whenever I start the Patreon in English, I will let you know, I guess. So I am live streaming, guys, for my people because I live stream from 9:20 a.m. up to 4 p.m. for the members of my Patreon. Again, in Spanish, so you don't need to sign up for my Patreon. Don't do it because you will lose your money. And as I am streaming for my guys, for the members of my Patreon, I am posting this information in Discord. That's why I am so tired, guys, when I go live for you on Thursdays. Yeah, because I'm doing like 1 million things, at the same time. So I am about to tell you guys some information about the SPY, but you don't need to. You don't have to be worried about the SPY because unless something unexpected happens, I am Mondays through Fridays calling out bulls and strikes in regard to the SPY in our server. That's it. Okay, but get these guys. Take a look. I would say that as of now, the SPY is at a crossroad. Why do I say that, guys? Why do I say that the SPY is at a crossroad? Because take a look at this level, $549. Big level for the SPY, guys. And why is it? Well, because $549, guys, is the high back from April 9th when President Trump announced that tariffs for the European Union were going to be postponed. You guys remember, right? That day we had a super rally, a 9% positive day in the SPY, in the S&P 500. It was like, I don't know, like the most positive day in the SPY for, during the last 50 years or something like that. So this is a big level, guys. Put this level down on a sticky note. Write it down on a sticky note, guys. $549. Say that tomorrow we open the trading session above $549. The door could open potentially for a test of the downward sloping 50-day moving average at $563. And take a look at the slope of the 50 DMA, guys. It is downward sloping. It is putting downwards pressure over the SPY. Big level, guys. Let's say that we start a trade, guys, at $550 once we confirm that the bulls recaptured and that the bulls are actually consolidating above $549. From $549 up to $550, this could be a 2% profit trade in the SPY. This is a lot of money, guys. We're talking about what? 11, 12 points? Big level. But say, guys, and we all know that this is a Trump-driven market. This is a market that could go anywhere depending on the news that could be coming out about tariffs and the trade war with China and Trump, I don't know, insulting Jerome Powell, or Trump saying this or Trump saying that. So say that they pull the rug out again, which could happen, guys. We still have a lot of technical damage over here. Take a look. Below the 100 DMA, below the 200-day moving average, the 50-day moving average is clearly downward sloping. So the bulls still have a lot of work to do here. Make no mistakes. This could very well be another bear market rally. Make no mistakes about that, okay? But, okay, in the meantime, we can say, or we can point out as something positive, that the bulls were able to recapture the 5 DMA, 5-day moving average. The 5 DMA is signaling as of now $529. That's positive. And the 5 DMA is starting to rise slowly. That's also positive. And the bulls were able to recapture today the 20-day moving average, this pink line that I am pointing out with my mouse. Take a look at the slope of the 20 DMA. It is downward sloping. So it was putting downwards pressure over the SPY, and the bulls made some progress today by recapturing that 20 DMA. So far, so good in minor time frames. So say that we open tomorrow above $549. That's also positive, and that could be potentially opening the door for higher prices. Fair enough. But say that they pull the rug out again because Trump said this or Trump said that, okay? So the 5 DMA could be an interesting spot from a potential support standpoint. The 5 DMA is signaling as of now $529, $530. That would be a level that I would be pointing out as a potential level of support in case of another pullback of the SPY. But say that they killed the tape, guys. They are killing the tape because Trump said again that that Powell is a loser, and Trump said that he hates Xi Jinping and that we don't need China, whatever, yada yada yada. Take a look at these levels, guys. And in this case, I am going to be using anchored VWAPs. This is my favorite technical indicator, guys. Anchored volume weighted average price lines. So take a look at these two anchored VWAPs, guys. Put this down on a sticky note. Take a look at this AVWAP that comes from where? Take a look from the beginning of April, April 2nd. This anchor VWAP is signaling $523. And take a look at this other VWAP, guys. This other anchor VWAP that I am pointing out with my mouse. This is an anchored volume weighted average price line that comes from the low of April. The SPY hit or reached $481 on April 7th. So this is a month-to-date anchor VWAP that is signaling $523-ish, and an anchored volume weighted average price line that comes from the lowest level so far for this bear market is signaling $521. So between 523 and 521, in my opinion, we have a potential very important level of support or demand for the SPY. Why is it? Well, because this month-to-date anchor VWAP is telling me that the average market participant that started a position in the SPY from the first trading session of the month, as of now, has an average price of $522. And when it comes to the other anchor VWAP that I just told you guys about, the one that comes from the low of April 7th, well, what information is this AVWAP sending us? That the average market participant that started a position in the SPY, or pretty much the average market participant that was able to catch the bottom so far of this bear market, has an average price of $522. I'm thinking that if the tape gets killed once again for whatever reason, if we happen to see a retest of these two anchor VWAPs, this is a spot at which I should be trying to buy the dip. 522, 521. And let's see, guys. I don't know. Maybe we see this rally going further up. Why not? If the bulls are able to consolidate above $549. Any other questions about the SPY? Hey, by the way, and this is something that I was telling you guys about last Thursday when we had the virtual meeting and with our community. Keep in mind, guys, and I am about to go over a bunch of stocks. And you guys are always asking about the same group of stocks. You guys always tell me to go over Palantir and SoFi and Tsla and Google and so forth. No problem. Keep in mind that as long as we have the VIX, the volatility index, trading at elevated levels, above 22, 25 points, the 98% of stocks out there, or I would say that most of stocks out there, are simply tracking the SPY or the S&P 500. So you cannot be trading individual stocks without reconciling the levels that you are keeping an eye on, for instance, on SoFi or Palantir or Tsla or whatever it is, with the SPY. Say that you have a potential level of support on Palantir at, at $95. I'm just making this up, right? And Palantir is pulling back. Pay attention, guys. This is important. This is very important. So say that you want to take a trade on Palantir, or you want to start a trade on Palantir or SoFi or whatever it is, and you have a certain level, and the stock is pulling back, and you say to yourself, okay, if SoFi or Palantir or Tesi or Google gets to this level, I might be willing to buy some call options. Guess what, guys? If that stock is pulling back, it is very likely to be pulling back with the SPY, in sympathy with the SPY. So if that stock gets to your level of interest in order to buy call options, but the SPY keeps going down, that level of interest on that specific stock that you are keeping an eye on in order to try to buy calls, just to set an example, is very unlikely to act as support if the SPY keeps going down. This is very important. This is not the time in order to trade individual stocks. And if you do so, if you guys are trading individual stocks, you'd better make sure of keeping an eye on the SPY before starting a trade with any individual stock. Do we have a deal? Yes or not? Does this make sense? Well, yes, there you go. Okay, so what stocks you want me to go over? By the way, in the meantime, I am, saying stuff here, and I have an open trade on Google, because you guys know that I trade earnings, so I have to keep an eye on Google. I have a little loss here as I am streaming for you. What about GLD? There you go. Let's go over GLD. Gold. So yeah, this is a very good question, bro. Shaber. I was keeping an eye on GLD myself today. Above the 5 DMA, guys, $309. I might be a buyer of GLD. If GLD keeps dropping, I also spotted another level of interest to the downside, guys. Take a look at the 20 DMA, 20-day moving average. It is going up. That implies that it is pushing price up potentially. And this 20 DMA is actually coinciding with a previous level of resistance for GLD back from early April. So if GLD keeps dropping, 293, in my opinion, is a potential level of interest in order to buy the dip. But say that the US dollar keeps going down, because you guys know that gold is inversely correlated relative to the US dollar. You guys know that, right? And in my case, guys, I use the 5 DMA, the 5-day moving average, as a gauge in order to try to determine who is in control of a technical chart. So above the 5 DMA, the 5-day moving average, I am more willing, or more likely, I should say, to go long any given stock. And below the 5 DMA, I assume that sellers are in control of that stock. So I am, to say the least, super careful when I see a stock trading below the 5-day moving average. In the case of GLD, this is an uptrend. So say that the Dixie, the US dollar, keeps going down as it has been doing lately, thanks to all this, tariffs fiasco that we're seeing as of now. So the Dixie goes down tomorrow, and I see GLD consolidating above $310. I am a buyer. Yeah, this is a very good looking chart. Above $310. Yeah. And I would be curious about a potential test of the upward slope in 20 DMA near $292. Yep. Palantir! Let's go over the messy of artificial intelligence. Guys, and I don't want okay, I don't want to toot my own horn, but for you guys that have been watching my live streams for, say, I don't know, 2 months or 3 months, do you guys remember what I told you about Palantir when Palantir started to collapse? Sorry, I just, oh, that hurt. Sorry. So Palantir started to go down, guys, in mid-February. Do you guys remember? Some of you guys have been watching my streams for months. I told you guys something about Palantir. I told you that, in my opinion, this dip was very likely to get bought up. Why? Why did I say that? Because I have a crystal ball? No. Because the story behind Palantir hasn't lost any traction. Zero. I am not telling anyone to invest at a long term in Palantir. And you guys know that this is a very expensive stock. But when a story has strength and has traction, multiples don't matter. Valuations don't matter at all, guys. And I told you, I don't know when, but in my opinion, this tip on Palantir is very likely to end up being bought up. And that's exactly what happened. Take a look at this technical chart, guys. This is a very good looking technical chart. Palantir went up today 7%, and it closed the trading session at $107.78. Very good looking chart. Upward sloping 5DMA. Take a look at the slope of the 5-day moving average. It is upward sloping. Very good. Above all the moving averages. So the next potential gap to the upside here, guys, could be a former all-time highs for Palantir. Let me draw a line here. This is a former all-time highs for Palantir back from early February at $107. Any potential process of consolidation of Palantir above $107 could be opening the door for a test of another previous level of resistance for Palantir and another former all-time highs, I could say, for Palantir at $120. This is a former resistance and all-time highs back from mid-February as well. This is a push to the upside that Palantir could be making easily. No problem. But mind you, guys, there's an issue here. This is a very expensive stock, a higher multiple stock. So if Trump, I don't know, comes out tomorrow and says that he hates Xi Jinping, that he hates China, that Jerome Powell is an F loser, and that he hates everyone in the world but Americans, or I don't know, whatever bullshit that could potentially be coming out from our president's mind. So if the markets start to panic once again, you know, if the markets start to have the same behavior that we saw 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, this stock is very likely to get hit severely. Because when there's panic out there, guys, the stocks that pull back the most are the most expensive stocks out there. So in my opinion, guys, and I was talking about this with the members of my Patreon today, I am not touching Palantir above $100. I would be a buyer of pullbacks, but I am certainly not chasing Palantir here. Because if panics kicks off again in the markets, and mind you, it could happen it could happen at any moment, guys. This is a huge candidate to get hit severely once again. So I am not chasing Palantir here. I am not touching Palantir above $100. But rather I would be a buyer of pullbacks, guys. What about a pullback down to the 5DMA? $98. The 5DMA is upward sloping, so it is very likely. It is somehow likely to act as support, because the fact that 5DMA is upward sloping implies that it could be potentially pushing price up, and that upward sloping 5DMA is coinciding with the previous level of resistance for Palantir back from late March. So give me $98 and I would be a buyer, probably, of Palantir. But certainly I am not chasing Palantir here. No, not at all. Let me take a look at the market structure. Oh, wrong site. Let me see market structure of Palantir, bro. Palantir is the future, bro. That's what the YouTube pumpers of Palantir say, right? Take a look at the market structure. Hey, by the way, guys, and some of you guys are new to my live streams. So this is a market structure chart. What information am I looking for when I take a look at a market structure chart? I want to visualize imbalances between the demand and the supply. Take a look at the demand. It is through the roof. And the demand buyers, supply sellers, right? What you guys can see on top of this chart is the demand, this blue shaded region, demand buyers, and supply sellers. So the supply is trying to rise, but take a look at the level of the supply, guys. It is way below the level of the demand. So we can easily reconcile this market structure chart with the fact that Palantir is trading above all the moving averages, but more importantly, with the fact that we can see over here this white line upward slope in the 5 DMA. This is a very good looking chart, guys. That is signaling that Palantir has, I would say that more likely than not, higher prices ahead, but given the current market conditions and the craziness of our president, of our beloved president, I am not chasing Palantir at these levels. Palantir is a Skynet. It could be. You never know. It could be. Hey, by the way, guys, keep an eye on this. Palantir reports earnings on the 5th of May. So we could make a case here that what we are seeing is some sort of front running of the upcoming earnings report of Palantir. We can make a case. Yep. So be careful because the valuation is very expensive. And I'm surprised, guys. So for just to, tell you guys an example. Google just reported a way better than expected earnings report. And the stock is 25% of the highs. And it barely exhausted the expected move to the upside. The markets are being very, very, very picky, guys, with earnings reports. So this time around, I don't know if Palantir is going to explode to the upside. Again, given the current market conditions. And given the craziness of our beloved president. There you go. What do you think is the best time of day to trade? It depends. If you are swing trading, there's no, best time of the day to trade. If you guys are scalping, you need volatility. You need, wild swings. So you should be trading during the first 2 hours of the trading session, I guess. It depends on your style. Yeah, sure. Nvda, I closed a position on Nvda today, guys, by the way. I ended up making $400. And some members of my Patreon were asking me, why did I close Nvda? I closed it because, first of all, I had a $400 gain, which is a very decent gain. And guys, Nvda is backholder central. Let me show you an example. So I don't know. I don't trust this rally in Nvda, guys. And I had a nice gain. So I decided to close the position. But take a look at this, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at some anchor VWAPs. Anchored volume weighted average price lines. Take a look. So take a look at this AVWAP. This is an anchor VWAP that comes from all-time highs in the case of Nvda. So Nvda reached $153 in early January of this year. Guess what, guys? The average market participant that started a position on Nvda in early January at around $153 has an average price as of now of $118. These guys are losing a lot of money. A lot of money. So as Nvda approaches 118 bucks, and since the chart doesn't look good at all, the technical chart that is, I think that these market participants could be tempted in order to close their positions on Nvda with the lesser loss possible. And I can point out other anchor VWAPs, guys. So let me pull up another anchor VWAP from this high at $143 back from February 19th. Take a look. This anchor VWAP is signaling as of now $118. A lot of people trapped above the current price of Nvidia, guys. So, and this is an issue that most of the tech stocks out there that you guys love. So this is an issue that most of those stocks are going to be dealing with in the upcoming weeks. If, I don't know, if we actually already bottomed out, and I don't know, if we are headed to higher prices in the market as a whole. We have a lot of overhead supply above the current price of these stocks. A lot of people losing money, guys. So I decided to lock in the profit here. And in the case of Nvidia, there's, in my opinion, a very important level. And I was taking a look at this today, guys. Take a look at this long anchor VWAP that I am pointing out with my mouse. So this is an AVWAP this is an AVWAP that comes from the first trading session of 2024. After the first trading session of 2024, Nvidia took off. A massive rally occurred in the case of Nvidia. Take a look at how this anchor VWAP acted as support in April of last year. It was about to act as support in August of last year. We almost saw a test of that level. And more recently, it acted as support on March 31st. This anchor VWAP is signaling as of now $105, pretty much the level at which I locked in the profit today. $105. This is a very important level, guys. What information is this anchor VWAP sending us? Well, that the average market participant that started a position on Nvidia from the first trading session of 2024 has an average price as of now of $105. So these guys recently were under the water and losing money big time because Nvidia went down to $86. So these market participants are weighing whether to remain in Nvidia or not. If most of those market participants capitulate, we could easily see, guys, a retest of $86 again. This is a very important level. So on the flip side, say that Nvidia consolidates or can consolidate above $105, that's positive, and that could potentially be attracting buyers into Nvidia once again. So 105, guys, put that down on a sticky note. And on top of that, guys, take a look at how this downward sloping 20-day moving average is coinciding with the anchor VWAP that I just showed you, and that comes from the first trading session of 2024. So a potential process of consolidation of Nvidia above $105 could be opening the door for a test of a former level of resistance for Nvidia at $111. Nvidia found resistance at $111 back in early April. So that could be the potential next level of interest to the upside. In case of a pullback, keep an eye on the 5 DMA, $100. It is coinciding with a fat number. And you guys know that fat numbers in this business are very important. So $101, $100 could be a level of interest, in my opinion, in order to buy the dip on Nvidia. And above $105 and being Nvidia able to consolidate above $105, this technical short could be attracting buyers. Why not? Let's take a look at the market structure of Nvidia. Let's see. What do we get here? Let's see. Look, the market structure isn't looking good. Again, on top of this chart, you can see the demand, buyers, and at the bottom, the supply. Take a look at the demand. It is going down along with the supply, but it isn't positive whatsoever when we see the demand going down. So I would be careful here, guys. Yeah, I would be careful. But well, I don't know. Maybe Nvidia can go a bit higher from $105. But mind you, guys, if you bought the dip on Google in, I don't know, in mid-April, or maybe you bought the dip in early April in Nvidia at $86 and say that you want to hold those shares for the long term, you have to be ready to deal with a lot of volatility and a lot of pullbacks. And why? Well, because most of the tech stocks, again, as I just said, that you guys love, have a lot of overhead supply above their current prices. So a potential process of recovery of those stocks is going to be a choppy one, guys. More likely than not. Sorry, I joined late. No, not a problem. How do you determine the pivot points? Yeah, I get that question from you very often. Guys, the pivot is a level. I don't have a specific formula in order to determine the pivot. It's a level that pre-market I feel comfortable either going long or short in the case of the SPY. So I ask myself this question. Okay, Alvaro, say 9:20, 9:15 a.m. Above what level I would say that the bulls are in control of the tape. And therefore, above that level, I would be willing to buy calls, not only of the SPY, but also of individual stocks. And below that level, would I feel comfortable about going long the markets? That's basically where the pivot comes from, guys. But there is not a specific formula, guys. In the case of today's trading session, guys, the pivot had to do pretty much with the level that the 20-day moving average had pre-market. I knew that pre-market, guys, the SPY was trading slightly below the 20 DMA. 20-day moving average. And I was like, okay, this is going to be my pivot today. Below the 20 DMA, I would not feel comfortable buying calls. And below, or I think that closing candles below the 20-day moving average, sellers could be showing up. That was it, guys. 100%, yeah. And rest in peace. Good old David Frost. Yeah, good old David Frost. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That made me a bit sad, huh? This week. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so, what other stock you guys are asking about? Ideally, how long should 0DTE gang trade? No. Guys, by the way, and I was telling you this last Thursday. If you are trading 0 day to expiration options, given the current market conditions, you are insane. Absolutely insane. And I think that you want to lose money. That's the only explanation that I have for that. Wrong behavior, guys. So we have a lot of volatility. And we have a lot of, sudden moves to either the upside or the downside based on news that randomly are coming out. You shouldn't be trading 0 DTE options, guys. At all. At all. That's it. Period, full stop. Another quote from David Frost. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at CrowdStrike, CRWD. Let's see. CrowdStrike. Wow, it went up a lot today, guys. Yeah. And I guess that the earnings report of Google is benefiting CrowdStrike because Google isn't cutting, guys, on capital expenditures. So that's good news. That's good news for CrowdStrike, CRWD. I don't know what to tell you guys. This is a very good looking chart. I wouldn't chase it here. This is not a market in which you want to chase stocks. I would wait for a pullback here. What about a pullback down to a previous level of resistance at $392? I would be a buyer of a pullback there. But I am not chasing CrowdStrike or any other stock given the current conditions of the markets, guys. Can it keep going higher? Sure, why not? This is an uptrend above all the moving averages, a brand new higher high here. Can it keep going higher? Sure. What could be the next potential gap to the upside in the case of CrowdStrike? $423. Yeah, why not? I am not chasing it here, guys. This is a very good looking chart. Above all the moving averages, the trend is your friend. So No reason to go down, but I would be a buyer maybe at, as I said, $392. This is a previous level of resistance, or maybe, why not? We have another previous or former level of resistance at $402. Yeah. This is a very good looking chart. And I think that CrowdStrike should be above all the anchor VWAPs, or above all the important anchored volume weighted average price lines. Let me pull up some anchor VWAPs here, guys. In the case of CrowdStrike, let's take a look at an anchored volume weighted average price line here that comes from all-time highs, guys. Take a look. We get a price of $365. So for the most part, guys, since an anchor VWAP that comes from all-time highs in the case of CrowdStrike is signaling as of now $365. So since I can conclude that the average market participant that purchased shares of CrowdStrike when this stock hit its highest price ever has an average price of $363, I can somehow imply that as of now, I have zero market participants losing money on CrowdStrike. What does that imply, guys? If I know that the market participants that started positions on CrowdStrike when this stock hit or reached its highest price ever, $450 back on February 18th. So those guys that purchased CrowdStrike at a very high price and that, ended up adding shares to their positions. So if I know that those market participants that averaged down so far from that date has an average price of $365, what does this information imply? That I don't have important levels of overhead supply above the current price of CrowdStrike. So this stock can easily keep running to the upside. Would I chase it here? No. No, given the current market conditions, guys. This is a very expensive stock, trades at very high multiples, and I don't know if they pull the rug out again because, I don't know, Trump said this and Xi Jinping said that, or Powell said this, or whatever it is. So if the markets feel panic once again, as they did 2 weeks ago, this stock is very likely to get hit severely. So I am not chasing it here by any stretch of the imagination, but I would be somehow interested in maybe buying the dip at $400 or $392. This is a very good looking chart, guys. And I guess that the market structure of CrowdStrike should be validating that technical chart. Let's check that out. CRWD CrowdStrike. There you go. What do we get? Before we go over Tessie. Take a look. So the demand is starting to go down, but the supply is also going down, and the level of the supply is way higher relative to the level of the demand. Is way higher relative to the level of the supply. So yeah, I mean the fact that the demand is starting to go down slowly makes me be more confident about the fact of not chasing CrowdStrike at these levels. But that doesn't imply that the stock cannot go higher, guys, because it is an uptrend above all the moving averages. Little to none overhead supply above the current price. So yeah, this is a very good looking chart. Sure. Tessie. What do you guys think about Tessie, guys? Do you guys believe that Tessie is the future, bro? You don't understand Tessie, bro. Elon is a genius, bro. Hey, and this has nothing to do with the technical chart. I think, and I don't own a crystal ball. And Elon said on Tuesday that he's going to, slowly start to, walk away from Doge, from the Department of Government Efficiency or whatever that thing is. If Elon happens to effectively, step back from the government for any reason, guys, because yesterday we had rumors that he had a falling out with the Treasury Secretary at the White House with Besant, and supposedly it was a very bad falling out, and they, were insulting each other and stuff like that. So you never know, guys. If Elon steps back from Doge completely, I think that we have a massive rally coming up for Tesla. So say that I happen to find out, guys, on Friday next week, oh, Elon is stepping down from Doge, and he had a falling out with Besant or the lunatic. The lunatic is the Secretary of Commerce or whatever it is. Elon steps down from Doge. I am a buyer. I think we have a huge rally coming up for Tesla. Huge. In the meantime, I would be careful. This is a major downtrend below the 100-day moving average. We have the 50-day moving average downward sloping as well below the 200 DMA. So this is not a good looking chart. As of now, Tesla is trading. Let me see. 47% of the highs. Oh, by the way, the earnings report was a disaster. Disaster. This is a declining business, guys. I am talking about trading. Okay? I wouldn't be a buyer of Tesla at the current levels, okay? In my opinion, this is a declining business, but whatever. That's a topic for another time. Okay, trading wise. So take a look at the slope of the 50 DMA, 50-day moving average, $271. It is downward sloping, guys. Big level of overhead supply or resistance above the current level of Tesla, $271. Can Tesla, fill that gap up to 271? Yes, possible. And take a look at how this 50 DMA, it's not only downward sloping, but it is also coinciding with a previous level of resistance back from early April. Big level for Tesla here, guys. 471. But on the flip side, guys, the bulls of Tesla were able to recapture the 5-day moving average and the 20-day moving average. So I'm thinking, guys, that maybe a potential process of consolidation of Tesla above $252 could be attracting buyers into this technical chart. And I wouldn't rule out, if that were the case, a test of $272. Yeah, it's possible. Be careful, guys. Go figure. If we have buyers trapped in Nvda, go figure Tesla, right? So this is not a good looking chart. Let me show you some anchor VWAPs just to illustrate how many buyers we have trapped here all over the place. So TSLA. Sorry, guys. Tesla. Take a look at this, guys. An anchor VWAP that comes from all-time highs, guys, is signaling as of now $308. What do you guys think? What do you guys believe? These people that are holding the bag at $308 will do whenever Tesla goes up to $308, if that ever happens, mind you. What would you do, guys, if you have a losing position on Tesla at $308 per share, and Tesla gets to $308, I don't know, in a month, 2 months? What would you do? You would sell the hell out of it, right? Yeah. So yeah, if I already told you that in the case of the Magnificent Seven stocks, we have an issue, we have a problem with overhead supply. Oh, multiply that times 2, or 3, or 5 in the case of Tesla. It is a big deal, guys. But I think that if something happens with Elon and Doge, if he actually steps down from Doge, I think we have a rally. We have a big rally coming up in the case of Tesla. But that would be a tradable rally. I am not thinking about investing in Tesla at a long term. To the downside, guys, I don't know. Keep an eye on the 5-day moving average. $243. It is starting to rise a little bit. So I would be curious about Tesla being able to find support at $243 in case of a pullback. And I am curious about the market structure of Tesla. Let's check that out. Let's see, TSLA. TSLA. Look, the demand is going down and the supply is rising. Not a good looking market structure, guys, at all. So I would be fading this trip at this 50 DMA unless Elon steps down from those. $271. There's also a possibility, guys. I think that Elon loves politics. Maybe he's full of shit when he says that he's going to, start to walk away from Doge. And that as of now, or that from Tuesday and on, he's going to be working on Doge twice a week. I think he loves politics. So, but I don't know. Maybe he has a bigger falling out with the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. The genius, Scott Bessent. Such a fucking genius. So we'll see what happens here. Broadcom, AVGO, sure. Semis had a nice day today, guys. Yeah, they did. Take a look at this, guys. This is a 4 hour. Sorry, by the way, this is a 4 hour chart. Take a look at this 50-day moving average, 50 DMA. Clearly downward sloping. Big level for Broadcom, guys. Big level. Say that AVGO, guys, opens the session above this 50-day moving average, $189. I would be a buyer here. But mind you, guys, there's a catch with semiconductor stocks. So you guys know that most of these semiconductor stocks track SMH, the semiconductor ETF. So you cannot trade any semiconductor stock, you name it, guys, Taiwan or Broadcom or I don't know, AMD or what else? I don't know. You name it. Without keeping an eye on SMH and Nvda. I repeat, and put this down on a sticky note. You cannot trade any semiconductor stock, say to the upside, say that I don't know, maybe you get calls of Broadcom, without keeping an eye on Nvda and SMH. If SMH and Nvda are pulling back, you cannot go long Broadcom because you're very likely to be wrong on that trade. But when it comes to the stock itself, say that we see Broadcom consolidating above the 50-day moving average, above $189. This could be opening the door for a test of the 100-day moving average at $203. It's possible. The chart is starting to look constructive. Why do I say that? Well, because the bulls were already able to burst above the 20-day moving average, the 5 DMA, and more importantly, I would say, the 200-day moving average. So buyers have already stepped in here, but I need to see more confirmation. So I need to see Broadcom consolidating above $190, preferably. And I think that if that were the case, and if the same is keep going up, and Nvidia keeps going up, we could see a test, why not, of $200, $202. 100-day moving average. I am curious about an anchor VWAP in the case of Broadcom, guys, that comes from all-time highs. Where do we have that level at? Let me see. AVGO Broadcom. How about this? Take a look, guys. So an anchor VWAP of Broadcom AVGO that comes from all-time highs, get this, guys, is signaling $203. So this is a huge level, guys. Say that Broadcom keeps going higher. So at $203, we have the convergence of the 100-day moving average, which is a very important moving average, with this anchored volume-weighted average price line that comes from all-time highs in the case of Broadcom. I would be fading the rip at $203, more likely than that. Interesting. And in the case of a pullback, where would I be buying the dip? In the case of Broadcom, I don't know. Give me a pullback down to the 5 DMA, 173. And I might be thinking about buying the dip on Broadcom. Yeah. In regular market conditions and stuff like that. And let's take a look at the market structure of AVGO. What do we see here, guys? A video. Not looking good, guys. The demand is going down. The supply is below the level of the demand, but we never want to see the demand, this blue shaded region, going down. Doesn't look, the market structure doesn't look good. So for me, in order to go on here, I need to see a decent process of consolidation of Broadcom above the 50 DMA. Maybe one trading session could be. Yeah. Well, guys, let me take a look. So we are an hour in. I gotta wrap it up, guys. It's been a long day for me, and yeah, I'll wrap it up. Yeah, I should be very active tomorrow in Discord, guys. Many of you have asked me about having more access to me, because again, my Patreon is in Spanish, guys, so none of you should sign up for my Patreon because you will not understand anything. So I'm trying to think about some sort of Patreon in English. I will let you guys know, because as of now, I'm extremely busy, guys, with my Patreon, and it is in Spanish, so I'm trying to do something in English. We'll see what happens. I will let you guys know when the time comes. So thank you, guys. Thank you for coming over. I speak Spanish too. I mean, if you speak Spanish, you could sign up. But most of you guys do not speak Spanish. And you guys send me a lot of DMs via Discord. I cannot answer any of you guys' DM. I'm too busy, guys. So I'm trying to figure something out in English. Whenever that happens, I will let you guys know, okay? And in the meantime, go grab a beer. Please go to my YouTube channel and drop a comment. Like the video. Subscribe to my channel. I am posting videos in English and Spanish. Most of my videos are spoken in Spanish, but I'm trying to start making more videos in English. And now you guys, by the way, can watch my videos automatically dubbed into English with that, I don't know, translation feature that now YouTube has. So thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow, per usual. Thank you. Goodbye. Take care, guys. Thanks.